continuing to monitor breaking news right now in New York City. Reports of a large explosion in the Chelsea section of the city. That is on the west side. And I'm now joined on the phone right now by Bernie Kerik, former police commissioner of New York City. Bernie, what can you tell us about this explosion?
Well, it appears to be some kind of IED that was placed inside a dumpster based on some of the reports I've seen online.
And when you say IED, Bernie?
An improvised explosive device, some kind of explosive device. We don't know what it's made out of yet. It'll be a while before they get there to figure it out. It looks like there may be multiple injuries. The police have closed down 7th Avenue at 34th Street, so there's no further traffic going southbound. They're closing traffic going east from the west side and from west to the east side. So they're basically trying to solidify that block, that area at 23rd and 6th. They've set up a temporary command post, so to speak, in a building down the block. You know, we'll see what happens, what this is all about.
All right. When you talk about a device that exploded, I mean, so we're talking about something that was actually planted. This is not not a furnace. We're talking about an actual, improvised device that was placed there to be exploded. It did explode. You say there are reports right now, and we're looking right now at the screen of what I understand was a dumpster.
Yeah, that's what I've seen too. Some kind of dumpster, garbage dumpster.
So that's
you know, Janine, the thing that bothers me about this, just today, in New Jersey and South Jersey, at down the shore, they had a 5K run with the Marine Corps, and somebody placed an IED in some kind of garbage can, and it was
that
detonated.
was in Seaside Park, New Jersey.
Seaside Heights, right. And now you have this thing in Manhattan, which is just, I don't know, kind of curious to me as to what's going on.
Well, you know, you got the Jersey Shore, and then you've got this area in Manhattan. And let me just say that the area in Chelsea, 23rd and 6th Avenue, is a residential area, and like most areas in Manhattan, for those not from New York City, very, very populated, big apartment buildings there, a lot of people. But if it's in the dumpster there, if it was placed there, and that dumpster is shrunk to that size, it must have been a huge explosion. And the people that were injured, do we know, were they people walking on the street? Were they people in the building? Do we know how injured they are? Do we know what time this happened?
No reports as of yet. Honestly, it only happened about, 20, 25 minutes ago. I got calls from the scene from people that live next to that building 2 minutes after it happened. So you're probably talking 20, 25 minutes ago. You know,
Bernie, I got to tell you, my daughter lives in that building, and as soon as I heard, I called, which is kind of frightening, but she's okay. And not there. But, you know, when you talk about what happened on the Jersey Shore today, there was something not in a dumpster, but what was it in? Was it in a trash can of some sort on the...
It was in a garbage can that was right there in the area where the race was supposed to begin.
Right.
And I'm looking at the FBI's notification. All Seaside Park residents can return to their homes now. The area's been cleared. It's just kind of curious to me. These two things happened in the same day, within hours, really, within a 10, 12-hour period.
Well, you know, Bernie, I mean, you and I both know there's no such thing as coincidence in law enforcement. But with this kind of explosion, and certainly we'll learn soon enough, and with all of the agencies that I'm sure are involved, how much or how big not just the explosion, but what was used and what kind of device was used when you talk about this kind of improvised device, and whether or not on the streets, Bernie, do you know whether or not there would be cameras on the street corners there?
Listen, these days, I don't know about that specific corner, but in Manhattan, it's pretty much, Midtown is pretty much covered all over, and as everybody's interested in security these days. A lot of those buildings have outside cameras. They have internal cameras. There's street cameras. I would not be surprised if the police department and the FBI, I'm sure the Joint Terrorist Task Force will take the lead on this at some point. I'm pretty confident they'll get to the bottom of it, and I think cameras will be a part of that.
Clearly, and we're just getting word now that FDNY, the fire department, is saying that there are up to 15 injuries that we're aware of. We're not aware of the severity of the injuries, but certainly transportation to area hospitals are being conducted as we speak. But this large explosion, and I'm stunned at the size of that dumpster. That dumpster, when you look at the guy's hand next to the dumpster, I mean, that's just, it's blown to bits, literally.
Well, those things, and think about it. I mean, those things are pretty sturdy. They get bounced around by those big trucks, pretty well, and to think how it's been mangled up, whatever was in there, it was pretty strong. So it's going to be interesting to see what the outcome is.
All right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to stay on top of this, and we will come back to you, former Police Commissioner Bernie Kerik. We thank you for being with us, and we're going to continue to cover this story. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a moment.